पहले बाकी और जगह कर लेना।
So, guys, we're live. Okay, just one more second. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone, for joining. Um, okay, all set. Perfect. So, hey, guys, welcome to another webinar from AdmitKard. As we end this month, we have the most awaited webinar in line today. A very good evening to everyone who's joined us today. I can see a lot of messages here. Okay, starting from the first one, we have Shiva, we have Adnan, we have Jitendra, we have Aditya. Hey guys, we have Hemlata, we have Tarun, Sushmita. Hey Nupur, thank you guys for joining in. We will just start in a bit as more students join. So first of all, thank you all for giving such a wonderful response over all our last webinars the previous month, and to be back again to gain some more awesome insights on the biggest student peeve, and that is jobs. So all of you who've joined us in the chat section alongside, just ping hi or hello to let us know that you're all here, and we will go live. And also the people watching us in YouTube right now, you have a link in the description to join us live. So you can join us live here and clarify all your doubts from the mentors that we have today. So in this webinar, we're going to talk about something that is really, really crucial to your study abroad decision. One question that every student asks before planning to go abroad, and that is, will I get a job after my study abroad? It's quite valid, isn't it? So, well, here we are today with an esteemed panel of mentors who've studied abroad and they're now working in some top global firms. My name is Pragya. I lead the mentorship vertical at AdmitKard, and today, along with me, I have three mentors to help you out. So, I'll just introduce them one by one. So, starting with Stuti. Stuti, can you please introduce yourself? Hello? I'm audible, right, Mihir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so Mihir, we can start with you. You can introduce yourself and then we can move on to Stuti.
Sure. Hi guys, my name's Mihir. So I am a final year student at University College London. I'm pursuing my bachelor's degree in economics at the moment, and as stated in my bio for this event, I just completed a virtual internship with Deloitte UK, and have been fast tracked to their final stage assessment for a graduate role thereafter. I was born and brought up in India. I'm from Delhi originally, and I pursued my high school at the Doon School, from where I went on to study abroad. And I really look forward to this event and solving any doubts. If you guys want to reach out, please feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of your doubts personally as well.
Okay, Stuti, can you hear us now? I think she's in a bad network. She will come back, and that is when we can have the introduction. I'll proceed. Meanwhile, we have another mentor, Kushagra. He will be joining us soon. He had some engagement, so he will join us in a bit. Moving on, we will start with the webinar meanwhile. So first of all, introducing what AdmitKard is. So AdmitKard is an edtech platform that brings access to advice from top universities, mentors, and experts to the comfort of your home, hostel, or wherever you practically are, right? With our AI, it makes your search for the universities very, very easy. AdmitKard is a VC-founded edtech startup, and it was founded by IIT, IM alumni Piyush and Rachit, with an aim to mentor students in their college application processes, right? So searching for your dream university and taking the final leap can be really, really, a big hassle for all of you guys. But with AdmitKard, it's a case no more. We are a platform for the student and by the student. So I'll just explain what that means. We have a lot of student mentors from around the globe who are actually studying abroad. And this is what makes AdmitKard different. It's the trueness of information. You will be assisted by a mentor at all the steps, someone who's studying in your dream school right now. So as you can see, see, we have 700 plus mentors right now on the platform who are guiding the students. Also, they have been handpicked from different universities across the globe. We have been helping out a lot of students, and our students are making us continuously proud. These are some of the top universities where our students have been going, and I think that will continue with all you guys joining in. Okay, so I'll just take some of the questions that I have right now in the chat section. Adnan, the topic for today is around jobs. We have mentors working in some of the top firms around the globe. So that is the main agenda. We'll talk about how to fetch a job, right? So introducing the agenda once more, it is quite serious. It's a big factor that decides the ROI of your study abroad decision. And so let us begin. We have some top questions curated from the students, and we will be addressing them to our mentors, right? So I'll take the first question here. Stuti, are you able to listen to me now? Stuti, just check if you're in mute. Okay. Meanwhile, Mihir, so I'm going to address this question to you. First question is, how early should one start seeking a job?
Right. I think the key to that question is that you really need to break down your job seeking criteria into two essential pillars. One, on the basis of what's the length of your degree, and two, if you have any particular interests within any particular fields that you particularly want to get into. I would say that I went on to do a 3-year bachelor degree. So I literally started seeking and started looking for a job the month I reached my university, which is October. And I think it's really important to understand that the procedures, at least in the UK, work on a 1-year prior basis, which is that for, let's say, a job in 2021, you'll start have to looking and you'll start have to applying by 2020. So I think that's really important, and all of this is information that is publicly available on company websites. So do reach out to your company HR teams or just look at the company websites. But the key is to start as early as possible.
Okay. Stuti, is your mic working fine now? I think there's some issue with the mic right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the questions that we have in the chat right now. Okay. If I get a degree in Indian college, do we get a job in Deloitte? So Adnan, are you referring to getting a job in Deloitte in India or abroad? Can you just clarify that? We have a question from Pramit. When is the right time to start applying for jobs during masters? That is exactly what we've covered right now. Okay, so I think we'll move on to the next question further on. Okay. Is it too difficult to get a job due to competition for your course? So, Mihir, could you just introduce all of us to the course that you have started and then moving further to the competition in particular course?
Right. So I think that's a really interesting question. I'm currently pursuing a BSc in economics, but one thing that I want to guarantee all of you is that eventually you will be picked up by your company on the basis of your innate ability. And what I really mean by your innate ability is how well can you understand the job that you're going to seek, and how well do you understand the industry and the world at large. So I would say that any particular degree does not stop you from applying for a particular job. Now, speaking about consultancy, primarily, I know people who have done languages, who have done theology, who have done science background degrees, math background degrees, and are in strategy and management consulting. So I think that's really important to understand while applying for a job at least in the UK.
Can you hear me now, Pragya?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, perfect. Finally, okay.
Okay.
So the same question for you. Is it too difficult to get a job due to competition in your course? So you can introduce, first of all, you can take the introduction bit. You can introduce yourself, your course, and then take the question.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Stuti Sethi, and I was doing an MNG in computer science. from the University of Manchester. So it's an integrated course. So you do your undergrad and your master's. Currently, I'm working at Barclays, and it's been 2 weeks since I've started, and I'm working as a Java developer. So for my course, I thought that it was not very difficult to get a job, to be honest, because when I applied, I got quite a few job offers. The key is to apply early because most of the offers in the UK are on a rolling basis. So if you apply early and if you take the test really well, it's not that difficult. I know like people around, they're like, oh, you won't get a job in the UK. I think it's really easy to get a job in the UK. Much easier than in India, to be honest.
Okay. So I'll take up a question here from Harshad Soni. Will cybersecurity MS give a visa sponsorship in UK? And what's the scope of cybersecurity in UK? So either one of you can take that.
By MS, what exactly would you mean? Is that Microsoft? Is it?
No, it means the master's program. MS.
Oh, okay. The
Masters
master,
of Science.
the MSc, you mean? Yeah, right. So I think you don't really. So for sponsorship, how it really works is I think it's important to understand the sponsorship criteria here. So I'll just, for the benefit of the community, just clarify that. So you see, every company, every big scale company gets a number of visas that they can sponsor, because at the end of the day, it is a cost that they have to bear, and they have to prove to the British Home Ministry that any international student is better than any domestic student. Now, having said that, to be very honest, given that cybersecurity would fall under one of the more competitive courses, and that it is an MSc, the sponsorship does not depend on the course that you're doing, but it depends on the company that you intend to join. So at the end of the day, it's really going to depend on how big and how multinational the company that you're planning to join is, and what is their affordability in terms of the visa sponsorship criteria that they can match.
I would like to add on to that. He just mentioned that it generally depends upon the company, because there are a lot of middle tier companies who would sponsor your visa too. But then there are high end companies like IBM who don't sponsor your visa. But in terms of cybersecurity, I think there are massive job openings right now, and I think it's a booming industry for the next 2 to 3 years. I've seen companies coming up with their cyber departments and getting up new people in their teams. Even at Barclays, initially I was going to join a cyber team only, and I went on to this team because I had already worked in there and it was easier for me. But I think it's a very booming industry. That's the course that you should definitely go for if you're interested.
Perfect. So I hope that answers your question. So guys, I know you have a lot of questions to be answered, but I think we will cover them, most of them in the PPT that we have right here. So moving on to the next question. Okay, just 1 second. So Mihir, can you just try to shift the PPT to the next slide? I don't know what's wrong. I'm audible, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just check the PPT. Meanwhile, we can take one more question. It's a question from Siva. How hard is it to get a job if I pursue masters in supply chain management and logistics in France, Netherlands, Canada, or any other country? So maybe we can talk about the scope of supply chain management.
Right. To be honest, like, I would say that it's, again, I would say that don't try and pursue subjects on the basis by simply thinking that this course will have a much wider opportunity as compared to the other, because the one thing that I really want to guarantee to all of you is that the UK job market is looking for diversity. Just as an example, as I stated earlier as well, there is no one particular course that a management consultancy is looking for, because at the end of the day, everybody wants a diverse workforce. Having said that, I feel like supply chain management amidst this crisis is going to be the next normal. And I mean, every company is going to restructure. Every company is trying to, is eventually looking to streamline their supply chains at large, from, too much cross-border integration and too much cross-border dependency to more domestic supply chains. So I think, yeah, I mean, in terms of the course, definitely it's got huge potential. But at the same time, if that is what you're really passionate about, and if that is something that you really, really want to learn and want to explore more into, go ahead and pursue it. Don't try and think that, just because you've taken this course, that's going to limit your chances in for like entering the particular job market.
Right. Okay. So we'll take the next question here. So how did you apply? What are the other ways of doing so? So that practically means how did you, start with your job process? How did you make an application? So we can start with Stuti.
Okay, so initially I did a summer internship with Barclays, which I had an undergrad year to do so. And that's like while you do your summer internship, they judge you on basic aspects, like how you're doing your work, what you submitted at the end, and then they give you a grad scheme accordingly. But if you apply directly, that I did to a few other companies like Deloitte, Shell, yeah, a few consultancies that I got through. But the process is just to go online, have a look at their websites, stay updated when they're opening their applications. They generally like mention it 2 weeks before the starting date. So whenever they go online with their applications, submit your applications. You'll have a few online assessments to go through, and then an assessment center that you're going to visit and take the interviews at. It's not a very long process. It generally has like 3 to 4 steps depending upon the company that you're applying to. And I would recommend a few websites like Grad Cracker and like Target Jobs that you can go to and have a look. They have like really good job opportunities available there from the top companies. Yeah, I think that's the right way to go about it.
Perfect. So the same question for you, Mihir.
Yeah, I think just to add onto those platforms, if anyone's looking for more platforms, just to add to what Stuti said, you could also look at SEO, and you could also look at Bright Network. I think these are also really interesting platforms, and with new opportunities coming out and keep posting them. And plus, they provide assistance with application procedures as well. So I think that was it's a really good comprehensive package that they're able to offer.
Perfect. Hi, Kushagra. Welcome to the webinar.
Hello.
So the same, yeah. So first of all, can we just have a brief introduction from your side, and then you can address the same question.
So I'm Kushagra. I'm currently a master's student at Stony Brook, United States, and I've completed first year of my master's. And before that, I've worked for Amazon for 3 months as an intern, and before that, I've worked for Samsung Research for around 3 years. And I did my bachelor's in computer science at NIT Silchar in India.
Perfect. So what we're discussing right now is, how to apply for jobs in your respective countries, and what are the different ways in which students can look for jobs.
So I would for the computer science field, I would say it's like this. First, you have to create your resume and everything. Then the second part is using LinkedIn and finding your seniors in your college, or any if you want to apply to, let's say, Google, so you'll find a senior from your college, message them, or you will find recruiters and message them directly. The second would be to university have their specific websites. So we have Handshake, so companies generally post on them, and you can apply directly there. Third would be directly go to the company's website, apply there. And there are some platforms like Jumpstart and like these people were telling. so you can apply there too. But like the chances would get low and low as you go to platforms. So first, I would recommend like contacting your seniors to apply for jobs. So they directly refer you, and you get a call very early. If you apply through, like, let's say company's website, it will take some time. They process it, and like, you don't get priority. And like once they process it, you get it. Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah.
So, guys, we are overwhelmed by the response and the number of questions that we have. But when we move forward with the questions, I guarantee we'll cover most of the things that you're worried about. So, the next question is, what are the key points one should keep in mind while building a profile for job opportunities? So, again, we can start with Stuti. Stuti, you're on mute. Just check.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. The key point should be that you keep your first, you have to keep your profile up to date on LinkedIn and even the other social media platforms that you're at. Try to keep it a little low. Try to keep it updated regarding your profile. Secondly, if you're going for a technical kind of resume, try to make your resume technical as well. Don't like add on additional information about dance and theater and mix it with like half of your resume is just sports and dance and theater. Don't do that. Make a little section about it, but try to add on your technical skills to it. Even for like students who are going into finance, supply chain, or any kind of field, add on your technical skills, like what all software you know, or what all additional skills you've used, probably risk assessments that you've done. Those are the things that generally companies are looking at. They want to see like what all experiences you've had. Whenever you're going for an interview, keep your experiences in mind, all your weaknesses, strengths. Try and join different societies. Do like extra work out of your general schedule of university. Take up leadership positions. They generally look at leadership positions a lot and they value them. So keep that in mind whenever you go to the university.
Perfect. The same question to you, Mihir. What are the key points that one should keep in mind? Hello? Mihir, can you hear us? Okay, so moving on to Kushagra, I'll just check what's wrong with Mihir's network. So Kushagra, you can take the same question.
So for like in technical fields, I would say just like know your things. Like you would be in particular, like if you're doing masters, you would know what field you are in. Like you're in data science, your systems, you're in security. So build your profile according to that. Like mention those skills in your resume. Like keep it short. Like recruiters don't like big resumes, only one-page resumes. And just I would say know your stuff. Like if you're writing something, don't write it because you did it for like one small project. Just know that, and you would be fine.
Perfect. So I'll take the next question here. According to you, which are the two top skills in your CV which helped you in getting a job? So again, starting with Stuti.
Oh, the top achievements, did you ask?
Top skills that should be there in the CV.
Oh, skills.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the technical skills, because I knew a lot of programming languages, and the like the job profile that I was applying to required a lot of technical skills. So that was a plus point for me. And initially, like in my second year when I was applying for like summer internships, I did not have that section, and that's the reason like not a lot of companies respond in a positive manner. So that was a plus point. And second point would be my positions of leadership. I I was the president for Indian Society of Manchester for 2 years. I was a student rep for my class. Um, then I was a part of the hacking society. So I think those are the kind of things that generally employers are looking at. So those were like the 2+ points for my CV.
Perfect. The same question for you, Mihir.
I think the two skills, the first one would definitely be, I mean, my experience within consulting per se. So like I tried to join as many consulting societies as I could, try to go for case workshops and open days with the firm at large. So I think definitely that was a big plus. And I think the second I would probably say is my research background. So I've conducted a lot of independent research as part of my degree, which I tried including in my CV, which was definitely of great intrigue to the company and to the HR. So yeah, I think those are like the top two skills.
Moving on to Kushagra, the same question for you.
So for me, I think my projects that I did in the past helped. Like if you do projects in specific areas and you apply for such jobs, let's say I've worked on projects on network and apply to companies like Cisco, VMware. So like it's easy to get an interview. Second, I would say knowing your having good technical skills like data structures and algorithms and your programming languages really help a lot.
So I'll take up a question here from Marine. So for internships, did the companies approach on campus, or you have to reach out to companies individually? So maybe we can cover it up. Do universities, they have something like placements like we have in India, or you need to go out to companies yourself? So again, starting with Stuti.
Oh yeah, companies don't come to you here. Like it's not like India; they're not going to do campus placements. They do come to the universities. They have a stall there. They're going to talk to you. They're going to keep like little hackathons as well, little events. Like I know Google does a lot of events at our university. So they are going to connect with you and tell you about the opportunities that are available, but they expect you to apply online, and there's a proper procedure that you have to follow. If the HR is there, they might be able to like forward it to a certain level. Like you can directly take the assessments, just send in your CV to them, like email it to them. And you don't have to fill in like your contact details and your question answers and stuff. But in the end, you
Right.
still have to take all the assessments, and applying online is the best opportunity available, I believe.
Okay. The same question for you, Mihir.
Yeah, I think Stuti put it greatly. I mean, like they don't approach you. It's all online. You have to be on track with keeping a timetable of the deadlines. I remember just as a little snapshot of what really happened with applications during my cohort. I remember I think Deloitte opened up applications for one of their schemes for their summer internship schemes on the 11th of November. And I think within a day's time, they had to close it simply because of the overload of applications. So that ways, I think you really have to be on top of your game in terms of like just planning it all out. And I think the best way to do that is open up an Excel and just kind of divide it industry wise. Just divide your companies that you're trying to aim at, and just kind of make a deadline procedure. I mean, and for that, I would say you can probably pursue the following methodology, where you keep an internal deadline for yourself as well as a deadline, as well as like the official deadline. I think that really helps you.
Perfect. Anything that you would like to add, Kushagra?
So like it's similar, you have to apply online. But I would say like there are conferences specific to women. So generally they interview at there, like the Grace Hopper conference in US. So you can search for such conferences, like they will interview there, they will give you the results also in some time. So yeah, I would add that.
Perfect. So I hope that helps. Okay. So can we work while studying? So anybody can take that up.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I'll
mean,
take that. Oh, go for it.
yeah. Okay. I mean, so yeah, you can obviously. So your visa does allow you. So you will be going on a general 4-year visa, and your visa does allow you during term time to work for 20 hours a week. And besides that, during non-term time, essentially there is no cap. So you can be working for as many hours as you want to, or like as per the company. And I think that's simply because they are aware of the fact that companies are going to give internship positions and grad roles. I mean, internship positions while you're at university. And they can't really cap it at 20 hours because 20 hours a week is literally like 4 hours a day, which is nothing. But yeah, so you can definitely do part-time working opportunities and try and earn a side income because London, so in the UK, obviously you've got the Minimum Wage Act, which basically is really feasible in terms of earning like a considerable amount of side income as well.
Perfect. So we're saying something, Stuti.
Oh no, I think he mentioned everything really well, so I don't need to add anything to it. It's perfect.
Okay. So we have one interesting question here from Aman. How important is location in getting placed?
Okay.
So again, anybody can take that.
I think location is really, really important because if your university is placed in a city area, there are higher chances of you getting a job because companies prefer people who have already stayed nearby in the university. So, for example, if there's a company in Manchester, it'll try picking up people uh, from the university within Manchester or nearby, like at a 40-minute distance or 50-minute distance. So, but if you're living in an area which is very distant, it's not a very booming city, and there are not a lot of job opportunities around, it'll be a little tough for you, even during part time, and you won't get a lot of job opportunities during part time, and then even later, I think it gets really difficult. So location is important.
Okay. So we'll take the next question that we have on the slide. So what are the working conditions, any strict employment laws that are followed in your respective countries? So we can start with Mihir.
Yeah, working conditions obviously are great. I'm guessing you're trying to imply the aesthetics and like just the employer-employee relationship. I think it's great, and I think it's people are really approachable, and they want to maximize the learning outcome from the experience. In terms of employment laws, definitely, given that you're an international, you really have to abide by the home ministry laws that have been put in place, and you really can't go haywire with it because everything they're tracking you and they're tracking every movement of yours online. And it's really simple. Just for an instance, although there is a cap of 20 hours for part time, people might just in the greed to earn some more money might just go overboard and do 25 hours a week while your visa doesn't allow you to do that. Honestly, that's a really foolish mistake because it's really easy to figure out if you're crossing the boundary simply because all of your payments are routed through to the HM Treasury Department. And it's really obvious that if you're getting 10 pounds an hour and if you're getting 250 rather than 200, there is no ifs and buts about it, right? It's really easy to figure out that you work for more hours. So definitely, I think you really have to take into consideration all of the laws. And you have to, I think a sense of gratitude comes in that, you have to be thankful that they're giving you that opportunity. So rather than going around it, just try and be within the criteria. And just take care of those laws, definitely.
Perfect. So moving on to those two Stuti with the same question that we have.
Oh, yeah, they generally take the laws very strictly. I know quite a few people try to go overboard with it, with like cash payments and stuff, but they generally get caught in the end, and you don't want to hamper with your education in such a manner. When you're here to study, so go for it. And to support your living costs, I think 20 hours is more than enough. Like, it's 20 hours a week. You won't be able to like finish 20 hours also. Like once you start studying at university, there's a lot of workload that you have. You'll probably be able to only work on weekends or like twice a day, like twice a week in the weekdays. So generally people like touch like 15 hours a week, and that's more than enough. You will definitely like cover all your living costs in that much.
Perfect. Anything that you would like to add, Kushagra?
So I think for the US, it's a little bit different. They are very strict here. So you can't work part-time outside of campus. You can only work, you can only work on campus. and in jobs that the university would employ you, like the teaching assistantships, research assistantships, or the cafeterias in the campus. So if you work like off campus, you're caught, you will be sent back. And like for the internship and like it's the similar, you have to get CPT and everything. So yeah, I think it's the same. But for the part-time thing, there is only on-campus opportunities.
Okay. Okay, sounds perfect. Taking the next question, what are the visa conditions that are implied while you're working? So again, we can start with Stuti.
No visa conditions like, oh, you have to be on campus, you have to attend your lectures. There should be there's proper attendance that's taken. So yeah, I mean, you have to have like 80% attendance if you're an international student, which is monitored by the university and the government basically. So that's the only one, and of course for the job ones. I don't think there's any other visa condition. Oh yeah, you cannot stay out of the country for more than 3 months. Yeah, that's another condition.
Okay.
During COVID, it got a little changed, but generally you can't live off campus for more than 3 months if you're on term, not off term.
Yeah.
Which is basically some. Yeah.
Okay. So the same question for you, Mihir.
Yeah, I mean, I think Stuti covered them all, and I think yeah, I mean, you can't. I mean, if that's something that matters to people, you can't hold public funds. That's something that you're not allowed to do as per the visa. But yeah, I think that's at least for like a tier 4. Those are the requirements, and those are the conditions you have to abide by.
Okay. Same question for you, Kushagra.
I think it's the same. Like you have to stay on campus. Like currently it's online, obviously, but yeah, you have to be in the US to pursue your degree, and you can't be like it's 4 months for US. Like you can stay 4 months out of the country, and yeah, it's almost the same.
Okay. So we'll take one question here from Kamlesh. Should coding be a necessary skill to all the fields? So anybody can take that out.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Could you come again?
So the question is, should coding be a necessary skill to all the fields?
Yeah, I think it is a necessary skill for all the fields, and I really don't think I have anything to add on to it. But I think if anyone else would like to like add on to it, would be great.
I mean, I would say, I mean, it's a huge plus. I mean, to kind of show that you are in tune with like a programming language. But then I would say again, it really depends on the career you want to pursue. If you're entering the space of like a strategy consultant or like a management consultant, it's not as important as something that Stuti is doing, which is really like a Java developer. I mean, that's a bummer. Like obviously you need coding for that. So really, it really depends. It really depends on the course that you're studying, and thereafter, what do you really want to pursue?
Actually, I would say like me just mentioned, it's not an essential skill, but I'd say like for people who are not in a coding environment also, they generally use like Excel or any other software tools that they'd be using. Like not even Excel, like basic. I think if you know how to use Excel, like those if else statements and stuff, you're good to go. I think you should know like basic Microsoft Office knowledge before joining any company in any field. Microsoft Office is required, not coding. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. So next question that we have here is: do you get other amenities like accommodations when you get a job? So we can start with Stuti.
Depends upon what kind of job it is. Some companies do give like full packages. Like during my summer and spring internship, I did get like accommodation, but during a job, you probably won't. they pay you well enough so you can get your own accommodation, but they don't pay you, like they don't give you an accommodation with it.
The same question for you, Mihir.
Yeah, I think Stuti put it brilliantly. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what stage of like the application process you're at.
Okay. So moving on to Kushagra, the same question for you.
So like, yeah, it's almost same. Like they give you relocation packages, and like it's like one-time package. So like for me, Amazon give me like initial relocation packages, and like that's for accommodation, and that you can use for accommodation, and it's generally like that.
Okay. So moving on to the next question, what would you suggest to someone who is willing to go back to India? Should he have job experience abroad, or should come back immediately after completing the course? So we can start with Stuti.
Depends on why he or she wants to go back to India. I mean, if they want to do a startup or if they want to join a business, I'd say you can immediately go back because you're going to take some time to settle down in your business or your startup. But if you're going to, if you're going to go back and join a job, I would recommend having some work experience in the UK because if you get that work experience, you learn the skill set and you get that exposure here for what you're paying for, and then you go back to India. I think it will give you a massive heads up, like over the other candidates that'll be there. So I would definitely recommend some job experience abroad.
Okay. So the same question for you, Kushagra.
So yeah, it's similar. Like if you have come like to UK or US, like get a job experience there, it's kind of different. The culture is different, and you learn a lot. And like various people come from different countries, so there is a very cultural diversity, and you get to work with different people in India. You'll mostly be working with Indians, so that will give you an edge. And like if you are in academia, you can go back directly if you want to go and be a professor in a good university in India. Experience won't matter that much. Like it would matter, but like it would be the right thing to do. Like directly go to India.
Right. The same question for you, Mihir.
Yeah, I think, I mean, any experience is good experience, and I think what it really does is that it really adds geographical diversity to your resume as well. Because if you've worked in different geographies, you are aware of different cultures, and at the end of the day, I think most of these companies are MNCs, so they will have some, if not a lot, of international exposure, and I think that exposure is definitely going to help you at some point of your life. So, and plus, I mean, you get to build your network, and if you've come back to India, but in the future you feel like you want to go back again, it's this network and it's these contacts which can essentially help you, find opportunities in international boundaries and just kind of reap the benefits from them. So I would say uh, definitely try and get some job experience, and I think you're also able to cover up for the cost that has gone into your education, unless and until obviously given like full scholarships, because I would say the pays are really competitive and they do cover up a good 2 to 3 years in this field will cover up a majority, if not all, of the investment that's gone into your education. So definitely, I think it's a great opportunity.
It also depends upon the course. If you're doing like law and then you work here for 2 years and you learn about the laws and then you have to go back to India and then learn everything again. Depends if you want to do that, definitely. But if you generally just want to stay in India forever and learn about like their laws and you are working into a similar field like that, then yeah, you can go back and work there directly.
Right. Perfect. So we'll take the next question. What is the minimum salary one can get during internships, and then what is the average that one can earn during a full-time job? So again, addressing you, Stuti.
Okay, so it depends upon the company, the kind of job role that you're taking up. So during like summer internships and full-time jobs, the salary is similar, but it's on a pro rata basis. So you get paid for the 2 months instead of the entire year. And when I'm talking about full-time jobs, I'm talking about like entry-level jobs here. I'm not talking about like your salary after 2 years or 3 years. So generally, for a lot of courses, it varies between 28,000 to 45,000 pounds. I know that's a massive gap, but it all depends upon the company, the job role, how like consultancies pay differently, banks pay differently. Um, and if you're getting into another firm for different thing, it pays differently. A technology firm would pay differently, but this is the average.
Right. Okay. The same question for you, Mihir.
Yeah, I think as I think Pragya put it, it at the end of the day, basically what really depends is the number of hours that are legally going into the job, and I think you'll be paid on the basis on the basis of that. But in terms of a range, definitely 28 to I would say 45 is a great range to start with, and obviously over that you've got your bonuses, you've got once you complete the graduate scheme, obviously you're going to go on to a higher range. So yeah, definitely, I think that's a good range to kind of start with, and then it just I feel like builds from that.
Okay. So before I move on to Kushagra, Mihir has to leave. So thank you, Mihir, for joining us. Yeah. So
Thank
yes,
you.
moving on to Kushagra. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mihir. So the same question for you, Kushagra.
So, for the internships, I would say like a minimum of $20 is given. I think so, and upwards it would be about $50 an hour, and you can legally work for 40 hours a week.
Okay.
I'm telling this for tech companies. I don't know about other companies. And for jobs, like full-time jobs, so mostly it's about 100K for like good companies, and like the average salary is around 80K here, so in the US.
Okay.
So mostly you get that.
So 80K is per annum, right?
Yeah, it's per annum. 80,000 US dollars.
Perfect. So we have a couple of students talking about Germany and Canada. So guys, what you can do is I will be shortly putting a number here, and you can reach out to us there if you have any questions related to a course that was not covered here today, or maybe about another country. So present about Canada, I will just put out that number. You can reach us there. I'll take the next question. So, during your hiring process, did GPA score make a lot of difference in getting shortlisted for the interview and then cracking it? So, the same for you, Stuti.
Yes, your score does matter. So in the UK, there is no GPA as such, but we have like you get levels. So you get a first, you get a 2:1, or you get a 2:2. So similarly, that matters because for most of the good companies, it is a minimum 2:1 to apply for it. So if you don't get a 2:1, they generally just, and if you still apply, they're just gonna like leave your account aside and they're not gonna look at it. But if you should generally aim for a first. It's not that difficult. It's about 70%. So anything between 70 to 100 is first class. So yeah,
Right.
it matters a lot.
The same question for you, Kushagra.
So GPA does matter, but like it depends upon the company. They'll list down specific requirements. So in US, like three for an international student, 3 GPA is like minimum. For some colleges, 2.9 out of 4. So that you should have, obviously. Like you can't do anything if you don't have that. And like they will specifically list down like 3.5 would be fine in US, like 3.5 GPA. Yeah. And most companies, like big companies, won't even like it won't matter that much, but
Yeah.
above 3 is required.
Okay. So we'll move on to the next question. What are the probable chances to convert your internship into a full-time offer? So starting with Stuti.
Okay, so because I did an internship and then I got a full-time offer, I knew like from my batch, almost 80% of us got it. So if you're doing an internship, you're working with them for like 9 weeks or a year or half a year. They are giving you a lot of training. They are investing in you, and then you know about the company, so they believe in you, right? So the chances of getting a full-time offer are like you're almost there. If you're doing good work, there are very low chances of you going wrong anywhere. Till you do a blunder, you're not out of it. You're gonna get a full-time job.
Perfect. The same question for you, Kushagra.
Yeah, it's like the same what Stuti said. Like I also converted my internship to full time. So mostly like follow your mentors and work hard, and like they will always, it's like an internship though, so the teammates would help you to have good interpersonal skills like communication skills. So like don't be rude, or like understand like if they're saying something to change, yeah, don't be so rude like why should I do that, and just be normal and they will help you out. And mostly people get jobs after the internship, like they will get a return of
Yeah.
like it's 85% I would say.
Okay. So we have a question from Harshit Soni. Will an experience in India will be an add-on in terms of getting a job in UK? So Stuti, you can take that up.
Yes, definitely. I know quite a lot of people who come for MSc in the UK after they've worked in India for like 3 years or 4 years, and they don't just get like the entry level pays like everyone else. They get really good pays because they already have the experience, they have the skills, they worked in a company, they know how it works, and generally companies prefer people with work experience, and that definitely gives them a big bonus. So if we're talking about a raise of like 30 to 40% from the base salary if you have work experience for 3 to 4 years.
Right. So moving on, how is the ROI once you start earning? So all of the students, they put a lot of investment into the studying abroad. So what is the return on investment like?
So if you're getting an entry level job, I'd say nowadays the companies are ready to offer like 35 to 40K, and you are spending approximately 20K a year on your tuition fees. Um, you're going to cover your accommodation and living costs with your part-time, so that's fine. That's something that I keep separately because your part-time will cover all of that. So within a year you can save approximately I think 15,000 pounds. So consider that in 3 to 4 years you're able to cover your entire education cost, maybe 3 years itself, because you're going to get a raise also every year. So within 3 years you can cover that cost, and then whatever you earn is a saving.
Yeah. So the same question for you, Kushagra.
So for like tech companies, it would be like really easy. If you join a company, they give you a sign-on bonus. So for my case, like let's say they're giving me 60K bonus, just the sign-on bonus. So like you pay,
Yeah.
you get, yeah, it's just like one day of like you get the money first month, you can return that. So it's like that for tech companies. Mostly, I would say the tech companies pay like that. Facebook pays a lot more. They would pay you 100K signing bonus. So and like if some companies don't pay, you can like pay within a year. Like I've seen my friends paying their loan back in just a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, the next question is how to find the best company or a job for myself. Are there any legal terms or anything that we should be aware of as international students when we are, getting into a job in that respective country, right? We can start with Stuti.
I think to find the best company, you first should know what you want to do. If you want, like for me, I wanted to do hands-on technology. That's the reason I did not like go into a consultancy later, even though I applied to a few and got through. Because then I knew that I'll be a consultant, which means I won't get hands-on technology. So you need to find the best company or job. You need to know what you want to do and apply accordingly for the kind of job roles. Even for like technology, I'm like there are various streams. Like there's machine learning, there's cyber, there's general programming. So you should know what you want to do. later in life. Obviously, you can switch from one position to another. For companies, I think you should always keep a check at how companies are doing the market, like economically also.
Right.
How well they've been doing. That way, you'll be able to find a good company for yourself. Legal terms as such should be like how many holidays you have, holiday pay, or something like that. That's it. There's not any legal terms as such. There's a probation period in every company, generally for 6 months, in which they test you on various levels. And in terms, if you go
Right.
wrong somewhere, they can kick you out, but they generally don't. It's just a period where you can't go wrong legally, like giving out company information and stuff. That's something where you can go wrong legally. So
Right.
yeah, that's fine.
So the same question for you, Kushagra.
I would say it's same what Stuti said. Like, I would add, like, just be careful of, like, for the US, I'm telling, just be careful that you don't consume up your OPT period. And like, there are, like, you will understand that when you come here, they have workshops for that. And like, try to find companies that will sponsor you for H-1B visas. Like, there are companies who would just hire as a contract, and like, you would have only 3 years to work. But some companies, like big companies, would obviously file for H-1B. So look for that, and just find your job that would interest you, like in your field. That would be fine.
Okay. Okay. So the list of two, three companies where one should definitely apply for, of course, in your course, and any tips for the same. So again, we can start with Stuti.
In my course, I'd say okay, apply to Google, even though they will take you to Poland, Warsaw. If you want to go there, it's a good area. You should apply to Barclays, like a lot of banks, because banks pay much higher than consultancies in the UK, and like even the work is they're rapidly like improving their systems right now. So I think applying in banks is a good plus point. So technology companies, banks, and yeah, if you really don't want to do like hands-on tech, go apply for consultancies and stuff. Like Goldman Sachs, I thought was really good. That way, you get to do both the things simultaneously. You can do coding. You can, if you want to go for a non-coding one, you can go for that as well. So those kind of companies.
Okay. The same question for you, Kushagra.
Yeah, like, it's almost the same. Apply to Facebook, Google, Amazon, Netflix, LinkedIn. These are the top companies. And like, then there are like specific companies. If for networks, it's Cisco and VMware. And for data science, there are many startups. So it would depend upon what you want to do.
Yeah.
But to be safe, apply to MNCs. Like, with the perspective of future employment, I think MNCs are great.
Okay. So next question is, how does your university or your college play role in landing your job? So you've already mentioned about having some workshops and some conferences, right? So is there any other way that a university helps, or is there any designated person that you need to reach out if you need some help for getting a job or something like that? So starting with Stuti.
Your college has a reputation amongst the employers. So whenever you join a university, just go online. I think QS has this ranking that gives you an employer reputation ranking, and like the employers know what they're going to teach you at university. So they know that okay, if someone's coming in from Oxford University, he might be knowing all this stuff because he's being taught at university. So obviously his reputation would be higher, and the chance of getting a job would be higher. Secondly,
Right.
they also have a career service. Every university has one, and some universities have really good career service opportunities. So have a look at that too.
For
Question for you.
Yeah, for US, like, it's the same thing. I would say mostly universities, like, I would say the university connections help your university's reputation, and like, many people from university would be working in different companies, and like if it's a good university, there would be a lot of people from that university. You can have a great connection, you can talk to them, and you can get reference. That would help. And mostly specific to universities, like the graduate chairs and everyone, they have workshops, so they tell you what to do for jobs, like where to apply. For academia, it's different. Like they will, like the professors will refer you to different universities as a postdoc. So yeah, it's like that.
Okay. So the next question is university ranking a big factor to get jobs in big companies, like we've already talked about Google, Amazon, right? So the rank, does that matter a lot? So starting with Shruti.
Yeah, I think I just mentioned it that like there's employer reputation, and it's kind of the same as the ranking. Uh, there are a few universities that have good employer reputation and not very high rankings, but that's because they don't offer a lot of courses. And come like universities that offer a lot of courses generally come up in the ranking table, and depending upon how old they are and what all research they've done, the rankings are basically based on that. So yeah, I think they play a massive role.
Perfect. The same question to you, Kushagra.
Yeah, it's the same. Like obviously ranking would matter. So if you are in like top of 40, 50 universities in the US, it would be okay. If you go down below 100, then it would be really hard. Like it would be hard for the employers to consider you. So like get into top 50 universities, I would say.
Perfect. So that was the last question that we had. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some questions that we might have in the chat. So we have a question from Kirti asking about she's done bachelor's in civil and now planning to do MS, and which country would be best. So maybe we can talk about the scope of civil engineering in your respective countries. So starting with Stuti, if you know about the scope of civil engineering in UK.
Yeah, a few of my friends did civil engineering here, and I mean, it opens up a lot of job opportunities for you, definitely. I know a lot of companies, like, this is not an industry that is like, you won't get jobs or something. It's a very booming industry again. But to be honest, in developing areas, like in developing countries, it has higher chances. Like I know people who came from Kuwait and Qatar and all these places and did like civil engineering here, and they got good job opportunities here as well. But when they went back to their countries, they had higher pays than in the UK and better jobs because like this is civil engineering has to be in a more developing country, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what about the scope of civil in US, Kushagra?
I would say it's the same. It's a developed country, so there are less jobs. There are jobs, but there are less jobs. And in COVID times, it's obviously very less. People are not getting jobs in civil and mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say like civil mostly. If you're coming, mostly people come for their PhDs or becoming a professor, and people do get jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know some friends they do get jobs, but in compare to MBA and computer science jobs, it's a lot of struggle.
Okay. So on that note, I think we'll wrap up this webinar. So guys, I understand you might have a lot of questions. So I'll tell you ways out in which you can reach us and the other mentors. So one is I will be putting down again a message on this group, and you can just reach out to us on that number, and we'll get you connected with a mentor over a one-to-one session where the mentor will guide you personally and address all the questions that you have. So I've just so you can reach us there. You have our website link in the top. Reach to the website here and get a profile evaluation, or you can reach us. You can email us on @admitkard.com. I will just ping the number that you can reach us out on. But on that note, Shruti and Kushagra, thank you so much for taking out your time today and guiding all the students that you have. And stay safe, guys.
Thank you so much, Pragya, for having us on board. And good luck to everyone.
Great, guys. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Take care and stay safe. I've pinged the number on the group, so you can just reach us out there. Yeah. Okay. Bye.